but they don't belong in the newsroom.
This just in, scientists discovered that Canadian bacon is actually ordinary ham.
This made a lot of people very angry and has been widely regarded as a bad movie.
Miserable bloody Romans, no sense of humour.
With what Dr. Ashland just said, do you concur?
Don't talk to it, Mary. Don't encourage it.
We're just like Kevin Bacon.
The only thing that will redeem mankind is cooperation. I think we can all appreciate the relevance of that now.
Welcome back to the Hollywood Thumb, a short-form movie news podcast brought to you by the parent podcast, It's Just Two Movies. My name is Daniel King. In the studio with me this evening is Alicia.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
So, if you're not familiar with this show, it's a quick 20-minute movie news rundown. Let's go ahead and get into it. Sad news up top. Walter Mirisch, Oscar-winning producer of In the Heat of the Night from 1967, dies at 101 years old. Fuck.
That's really old.
That's a long run.
That's good.
I have seen In the Heat of the Night, though, and it's a solid film. A lot of, really, older stuff. The pacing was different. Production quality was different, you know what I mean? But, good stories stand up, and that I remember that being a pretty good flick. But that's really all I've got on that. That's a shame, but, fucking 101 years, man. Way to give her hell.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Here we go. Cocaine Bear sniffs up to $8.6 million in the box office on opening day, while Ant-Man Quantumania is projected to have the fastest drop out of any superhero movie to date in week 2. I think I see a double feature in our near future. Would you be down to watch both of these back to back? Just like theater hop?
Oh, you're saying go watch Cocaine Bear and Ant-Man?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Whenever you said double feature, I thought maybe you were talking about I don't know. I was thinking.
Look, if the drive-in was open right now, this might very well be a double feature they would have there.
Yeah, but with Ant-Man dropping so fast, they might also put it on Disney Plus sooner.
Yeah,
Disney Plus
true.
is like, fuck.
Well, I think I'm gonna watch it for the podcast.
Ant-Man or Cocaine Bear?
Both. Yeah, I think I might do both.
Yeah, we could do
I
that.
was thinking about doing The Revenant and Cocaine Bear.
Not with me. I'm not watching The Revenant.
It sounds like Cocaine Bear is just going to be good, though.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll check into that. And, Cocaine Bear. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Hannah Gutierrez-Reed makes first court appearance since charges of criminal negligence with a side of manslaughter since the mishandling of a firearm on the set of Rust that resulted in the death of Halyna Hutchins. I think it's Halyna.
Yeah, I was like, that sounds right.
Alec Baldwin also waived his rights to appear and asked that it just be filed in the court. So it seems like he's just going to try to stay out of it and throw money at it and hope that his lawyers can make it go away.
So,
but as an actor, but he's also the producer.
Who's the Hannah?
She was the armaments specialist for the film. So, she was the one that loaded the gun.
So she's okay.
She loaded the gun, and she handed it to Alec Baldwin and said, "Clean gun," and he pointed it and fired it.
Right. So that sucks. Man, that sucks.
Yeah, it's really shitty. Somebody is going to have to do some time for that.
Well, yeah,
something is going to have to happen. That she okay, if an airplane part falls out of the sky and strikes someone dead, the airplane company is responsible for that.
Because it's their fault.
There's a very clear, but with something like this where it's like, it was actually mishanded to another person. I feel like maybe it was almost set up like this to prevent a lawsuit in the event of this thing happening, because this has happened twice. This happened with Brandon Lee and the fucking guy that played the Crow.
So you're saying it happened 2 other times? So this would make the third?
Oh, no, that is Brandon Lee.
Oh, okay. So one other time?
Yeah, one other time, I guess.
That's insane.
Isn't it just?
I would feel so shitty.
It's
but someone has to be prosecuted for it. You can't just sweep that under the rug.
No,
that's straight bullshit.
Yeah, that's super fucked up. More news on that. I'm coming at some point. I'm sure you know how they love to drag out a court case. Speaking of court cases, Jesus Christ, there's a lot of this in the news this week. Harvey Weinstein is fighting an additional alleged rape charge that will land him another 16 years to his already shitload of years, 23 in New York, this making 16 in L.A. on top of that, because he's a rapist piece of shit. Like, you can't just be like, oh, yeah, I've done a little bit of rapes.
No.
But not that one. I
One
didn't
is
do
too many.
that. This time, I'm telling the truth. You got just fucking let's throw the guy in a volcano.
And
he's
they said
terrible.
he's like 70 anyway, so fucking rot, man.
Yeah.
Rot.
Yeah.
Rot until you have nothing left.
Yeah. Maybe think back on all the times that you were just like the wealthiest man and did whatever you wanted to do.
Right.
You got to do that for a spell.
Yeah,
But
which
once
is
you
fucked
take
up. The
advantage
70's
of it,
old. You've already lived your life mostly.
You can't fuck over all the people.
Right.
You can fuck over a lot of the people a lot of the time, but you can't fuck over all of the people any of the time. You know what I mean? Because they'll come back for you.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be. Well, I hope not, but maybe in a secure place. I hope not.
Yeah, I hope he's in prison.
Right.
That's all. I just hope he's in prison. I don't like. He's so incredibly wealthy that I could see them just being like, "Well, you're on house arrest for till the end of your life or whatever." But that would be some bullshit.
No, someone
he
burn
doesn't
that house down.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve the lap of luxury like that. That's terrible. Here we go. Now this is a little more in the pocket for us, a little more on brand. New Lord of the Rings movies are coming. Yeah, I love you. You love a Lord of the Ring.
Mm-hmm.
You love a one to rule them all.
I do.
Yeah.
I do like them.
Now you might be asking yourself, how?
I was going to ask you how. 'Cause I was like, wait, that's not.
Because wasn't that all buttoned up?
Because isn't there the show?
The show's a prequel.
Right, but we talked about that.
So here's what I do know. This is a different studio. I think this is a Warner Brothers studio that purchased these. I could be wrong. I don't have it in front of me. There was a great article on, I want to say, The Hollywood Reporter that went pretty far into this. So here's the gist. There's a different company that purchased the rights and worked out a deal with the estate that owns J.R.R. Tolkien's intellectual properties.
Okay.
So they worked out an arrangement that they're going to make, I think, 3 new movies. So we have no fucking idea what that's going to be.
So you don't know if it's going to be
I don't know if it's going to be like a recast. Well, it's about the Lord of the Rings. So the series over at Amazon, they have already purchased and own the rights and have been greenlit to do 5 seasons of that show.
Oh.
Right.
Dang, that's
so
a
that's
lot.
It's also the most expensive thing they've ever done.
Oh, I bet.
Like, it cost them a shitload
Well, yeah,
of money.
because the originals, I mean, just
Well,
they
they were
hold
like,
up.
yeah,
Like the
look
look of
what's-
them and that just everything just holds up.
Yeah,
So,
how hot was fucking Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon?
right.
They're fucking expensive, though. It's pricey to make that
Right.
shit. So Amazon just went, you know what? All
we got
in.
money.
All in. I'm pushing
Right.
all my chips into the center of the table on this fucking weird little guy with the big feet. It's probably a good bet.
When's
but
it come out?
The first season got shit on pretty hard.
Oh, the first season's already out?
Yeah, I watched 3 or 4 episodes of it
okay.
and kind of fell off, if I'm being honest. It was getting a little samey.
That's not. No.
Yeah, it had the tone, but it just felt short of the mark. I can't quite put my finger on what it was I didn't care for about it. But it's a prequel, so this is like thousands and thousands and thousands of years before the One Ring. Maybe not that many thousands. I don't know what the time frame is.
Right.
But this is way before that. This is when the men had the 9 rings of power, and like all the different races had these other rings. So Sauron hasn't deceived them yet. He might even not have forged the One Ring just yet.
Well, it sounds interesting because I know nothing about the obviously before.
We could watch it. I mean, I would be down to rewatch. I don't remember what it was that I found like. I think it's like the first episode is quite long, like an hour 40. So the first episode might be like a movie. I remember it being extraordinarily long,
but not a very good one.
There's a lot of characters. They're telling a big, broad story. They're painting with a broad brush, so they have to introduce you to a shitload of people. And that's difficult to do.
Right, especially for something that people already know. They're like,
Right.
they think they know, even though it's,
yeah.
this is a prequel, but you still think you know all these characters because there's a, bunch
like,
in there.
If you have to meet 14 people and you meet them all one at a time, by the time you get back to person one,
You forgot.
you've forgotten who
Right.
they are. Who's this guy again? So it's, I don't know, that seems like one of the more difficult things to do in like telling a story with a lot of people in it.
Especially one that has to, I don't know, just that they've...
After 5 or 6, it just gets hard to keep up. You know what I mean? It's a lot
Especially
of
if
characters.
they're, main characters and stuff. And it's hard to, like, come to know them and be friends, like, in your mind of them. And especially since Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit have been around forever.
Of
So
course, of
people are
course.
going to obviously compare to that.
Yep. Now, I wouldn't say that I am a huge Tolkien nerd, but I really...
You're pretty
really
Tolkien nerdy.
I love The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. I love the books, and I love all 6 of the movies, which I know is kind of a hot take. A lot of people don't like the Hobbit films.
I love them.
I thought they were fun.
I thought they were really fun.
There were issues with it, but if you're going to stretch that one into a trilogy...
Well, never reading the books, so it was fine for me.
The Hobbit's really good. The Lord of the Rings trilogy, I don't know that I would
like
recommend that to a lot
you.
of people. Well, my introduction to them was that I had read The Hobbit like 3 or 4 times. And then somebody's like, there's more of these? And I was like, what? And then they gave me the trilogy.
But they put the Lord of the Rings movies out first.
Right.
And then
my aunt had a copy of the old animated Hobbit, and I'd watched it at her house all kinds of times. It is wild. Remember we rented it on Netflix DVD? It was been a while, but we did rent it, and I rewatched it, and I was like, yeah, this is still fucking solid.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's a cool old animation. But anyway, excited about that. I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do with that. I don't know if this is gonna be a recast reboot or the same story from a different perspective. I might be on board with that. Like just a different character that is somehow
instead of Bilbo
is somehow
in the
deeply
one,
involved.
and then
An orc general, maybe.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't know who you would.
Of course, they had the very popular games, Shadow of Mordor. Those were very popular. It could be something to do with that.
I don't know.
I don't know. But they've got a lot of options to work with. They just can't do a prequel.
Right.
Yeah, because then you wouldn't make them Lord of the Rings movies. They would just be called something else.
So
the Lord of the Rings of Power, is because of all the rings of power that the other species that like the show.
Yeah, and then
so it is specifically centered around the rings. Who made the rings? Sauron the Deceiver.
It's already set.
That's why it's called that. They
Right.
set it in stone. This is before any of that shit happened. When they open the first one, they go, long ago, when the realm of men, Sauron the Deceiver awarded them 9 rings of power, 7 rings of power. It goes on. It does the whole thing. This is the story of that. So it can be literally anything besides that. But if you've named it The Lord of the Rings, it has to be part of that original story timeline, I would think.
Yeah, unless they just throw that all out the window and do their own.
Because that's what they purchased the rights
Oh,
to. Yeah,
right,
I
but-
don't know. They could just do an animated thing. I'd be down for that. A fucking new animated Lord of the Rings series. That'd be pretty dope.
Yeah.
Anyway, here we go. Comic book movie news. Chow, coming at you. The Flash finally sets an early premiere date, currently slated for April 25th, 2023. How do you have any thoughts or feelings on The Flash?
The Flash, that's DC, right?
Yes.
I hope it's good, just because
It would be.
DC,
It's
and
good
it'd
for
be
things to
nice.
be good.
Yeah, it'd be nice for, it'd probably be good for, like, little boys, you know what I mean? Like, little kids. Unless it's, like, going to be rated R or something.
I
Or
hate that.
even PG-17, 18, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah. I hate that my favorite DC property movie is Shazam. Like, there's so many good characters there. There's no reason for that to be my favorite one. It is, though.
No, that's right.
It is, though. It's like Man of Steel. It's fine. Justice League. It's not good. That 4-hour one. It's 4 fucking hours.
I don't know.
I
I
don't
think
have
I
time
didn't
for
watch
that.
it.
Yeah,
I might have started watching it a little, and I'm like, man, I got my phone.
I watched it.
'Cause
I watched it in 2 sittings,
that's
and it was
too
just. It was the same movie I'd already seen with just a couple of very little differences.
But 4 hours long.
And 4 hours long, yeah.
Yeah, that's a really long time.
Some of it helped the story, but then it should have been
So who's going to play
It
Flash?
should have been 2 movies. It's going to be Ezra Miller.
Okay.
With all the controversy around him, that's why I had so many mixed
Right.
feelings about this, because he's been a big fucking shithead. And I don't condone that. I certainly don't condone glorifying someone in their career.
They do it so much.
Because celebrities already praise so much anyway. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff around that.
Right, and that's just like, why they get away with it when they do act like shitheads and terrible people.
Yeah.
And they get away
For
with it.
For example, you Google the Harvey Weinstein case.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just for a written example, I guess. But yeah... Also, they've been talking about this movie for like almost 10 years.
Why?
Yeah. Our kid was 2 when they were like, we're making a Flash movie.
That's weird.
Isn't it?
That's so weird. Was it always going to be him?
I heard the same shit about BVS, Batman vs. Superman, same shit about Justice League, same shit about all of these movies, and they just were all right. They just were fine.
Right.
You know what I mean? Arguably, I think it would... I would say Shazam or Wonder Woman. That first Wonder Woman movie is fucking pretty good.
Yeah, we only watched that once. Well, I did.
Yeah,
and
I saw that one twice.
It was okay. Yeah, it was pretty good.
The second one, bad.
Oh,
it's got Kristen Wiig as Cheetara in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that shit. Not Cheetara. I think it's just Cheetah. Anyway, but James Gunn released a statement saying, "Yeah, we're moving forward with it because, frankly, it's one of the best superhero movies I've ever seen." And that's out of James Gunn's mouth. So I started thinking about that because I think James Gunn has got great taste. He hits way more than he doesn't for me when we watch it.
He
like
does.
The movie Slither, I fucking love that movie. The Guardians of the Galaxy movies are like my favorite Marvel movies. Just like he's a good director. That The Suicide Squad movie is fucking gold. And from that Peacemaker series, cash money.
That Peacemaker.
Like, those are all James Gunn. That's his work.
When's that coming out?
Season 2 of Peacemaker, this year.
Nice.
This year, 2023.
That's
I don't
exciting.
remember when. But for him to say that, I'm like, okay, well, I like that. But then if I were James Gunn and DC had hired me to take care of rebooting their entire universe, I would say that
you would start hyping it up under your name.
Well,
sure.
The most likely thing is the movie is a run off of the Flashpoint Flash comic series, in which Flash is going too fast, etc., etc. He like resets the timeline in a world where there are no metahumans. Like, nobody is superpowered.
Oh.
Nobody. So
that does sound interesting.
So everybody is kind of just a Batman, and then one day Superman shows up. But now you're in this universe where there's all these different superpowered beings and people and monsters from different dimensions and shit. And,
so are you going to watch it?
I don't know. I don't know. I think that if I see... There are 1 or 2 reviewers that I actually will listen to about upcoming comic book property films. And I do kind of respect their opinion. So if they're both like, look, it's really good, then yes.
Then yeah.
But I'm sure James Gunn is banking on it rebooting his universe, which is what it's supposed to do if that's what series it is. Does that make sense? In the comic story, he reboots the universe on accident.
Oh, Flash does.
Yeah, the Flash does.
So then he can start fresh. James Gunn can.
Correct.
with
all of his new DC slate stuff,
producing of it and stuff, and then
exactly
then everyone can forget about the bullshit and the shitty movies,
right?
And kind of move on from that one being,
yeah,
a banger, I guess. So
I think that he's gonna do a lot to. I think that he's gonna do a lot to help directors make the movie they want to make. I don't think he's going to do a lot of studio interference. You know what I'm saying? I think he's going to let the creatives be creative. Well, and I'm excited about that.
Yeah, they should.
So anyway, speaking of comic book movies, Steven Yeun has been cast in Marvel's Thunderbolts as a unknown but pivotal character. I have no idea how that could shake out. Maybe a Dr. Octopus variant. I'm just throwing knives at the wall, though. I have no fucking idea.
They don't really tell you much most of the time.
No,
they really will give you little bits. And...
Well, they have a tendency to play against type, and technically in this universe, there's not been a Dr. Octopus yet. There has been no Otto Octavius in that universe. There was one from a different universe that came in. Do you know what I'm saying? Whatever Earth that is.
Yeah.
Because there was Dr. Octopus, but he was from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man universe.
Right.
So he just crossed over. So could be maybe something like that. I don't know. I'd be curious. I'm curious.
Yeah, you'll find out in 6 months.
Yeah,
or a year.
Yeah.
They'll be like, we'll let you know.
I'm most curious to see if it's going to be like a one and done, like he's going to do this one and then he's not going to do any more Marvel movies, or if he's going to be a reoccurring character.
He should milk it.
He should milk
that cash cow. Cause
they've been bad since Endgame. Not all of them, but for the most part, they have all kind of been underwhelming since Endgame.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. They need to. And it could be because, though, a lot of people knew those characters. They killed a lot of them off. They had to kind of start over fresh with some different stories, and you know what I mean, because a lot of the stories had drug on all the way from Iron Man 1, you know what I mean,
a lot of passing the torch movies,
right? So it's like
that Hawkeye series passing the torch,
right?
The Miss Marvel series,
and that's probably maybe why
torch.
And that's
the movie
why it feels
Black
like
Widow
that.
Passing the torch,
right?
Yeah.
So but they kind of have to do that because some of those people have been doing those movies for 15 years and they can't do them anymore. They're dead or whatever. So
yeah,
maybe after
now they're getting too old.
Right, they're getting too old, but maybe after, these, you get a little bit of a shitty
de-aging. Did you see those images of Harrison Ford in the new Indiana Jones movie when they're like, he's young now? They look fucking amazing.
Oh.
It just looks like young Harrison Ford for real.
Weird.
It's crazy stuff.
That is weird.
All right, one more thing we got to get out of here. Alicia, I know you love Dracula.
Yep.
Which is good. Which is good because you're getting more of it this year. Of course, we have the movie Renfield coming down the pipe, starring Nicholas Hoult, recently from The Menu, and Nicolas Cage, just a couple of nicking it about. Nicolas Cage's Dracula himself. But there's one coming out that I hadn't heard anything about, and David Dastmalchian, who stars in it, is here to let you know it's going to be scary as fuck.
Oh, it's going to be scary?
Like an actual scary, like a scary one.
You'll make me watch that.
That's what he said. I mean, I like David Dastmalchian.
I guess I don't know who that is.
He's, all right, in the Ant-Man movies that I just watched, he's the guy who's like, Baba Yaga?
Okay.
That's David Dastmalchian.
Okay.
He's a character actor. He played Polka Dot in the Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But it's
Nick Cage, huh?
Yeah, Nick Cage is going to play Dracula. There's a trailer for
I
that.
hope it's good. I always love a good Nick Cage movie.
I'll show you the trailer after this. It looks like a blast.
Yeah.
It looks like you will love it.
When's it come out?
It's very comedy. I don't have that in front of me.
Okay.
Not sure, but relatively soon. I know they've wrapped filming, I think.
Yeah.
But this one is going to be called The Last Voyage of the Demeter. It's based on the chapter The Captain's Log from the book Bram Stoker's Dracula. And it focuses on the crew of a cargo ship carrying a bunch of old weird shit. Sounds great. Been a long time since I've seen horror at sea done properly.
It's hard.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
That one where...
Because they can look... Because especially with a lot of the sea stuff, they use green screens and stuff, and it just...
Yeah.
It's hard to get over the fact that it's obviously green screen or, whenever they're not done well.
I hope it's scary as shit.
But sea movies are scary in general.
And Dracula is scary. A Dracula, that's very scary.
So now they can make bad movies off of it and have Dracula monster, I don't know.
Dracula cruise ship. Shit, they already did that. It's Transylvania 3.
No, I'm talking about the bad spoof movies where Dracula, but then there's I don't know.
He's on a boat.
A croc whale.
Oh,
not whale.
Yes.
Croc
Yes,
yeah.
a croctopus or whatever.
Something like that.
Oh my God, fuck yeah. Oh, that'd be awesome with Dracula in it.
Yeah.
I love it. Big fan of David Dastmalchian though, and he's going to star in it. I don't know if that means he's the titular captain or if he's going to be playing Dracula himself. I don't know. But that's going to do it for the news. If you want to check out more of our content, you can follow the parent podcast. It's Just Two Movies, wherever you found this podcast. There is a Patreon link in the bio. You can buy us a coffee or just use our Amazon affiliate link to do your shopping. All those things help with the show. I've been Daniel King.
I'm Alicia.
And that's been the news. Good evening.
That's just grossly inappropriate.
Come on, Ed, it's bullcrap!
A saucy line will not get you far with me.
It's not the Messiah, it's a very naughty boy! Stop being such a dick.
No, it's not schizophrenia. It's just a voice in my head. Your love of the halfling's leap has clearly slowed your mind.
Good speech. Nice and short. Leaves more time for drinking. Break out the ale! These men are thirsty!
The Hollywood Thumb is brought to you by It's Just Two Movies and is a production of Blue Cheese and Bacon Studios. Both can be found wherever you get your podcasts.